I use a lot of paper, and the other day I ran out. Like, I legit have none. Now, I could do the easy thing and just go to the store to buy some more, or I've been thinking about how fun it would be to try and make my own paper. So I got this handy dandy paper making machine. And then you just insert some wood. I'm just kidding, that would be way too easy. Instead, I'm going old school, and it's gonna be handmade paper using no fancy tools and made from a material that's very easy to find and also free. Garbage. I'm downtown right now, and I'm gonna see how much paper trash I can find during my walk across town to go get a coffee. And once this bag is nice and full, hopefully I can turn it into some beautiful paper. And so began my weird treasure hunt as I searched and picked up all the discarded trash that I could find. Someone's grocery list. Carrots, margarine squares, cheese whiz, and ketchup. All the essentials. I've hit the jackpot. Napkin, 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 napkin. Look at them all. And before I knew it, I had accomplished my goal, the bag was full, and I had arrived at the coffee shop. Thank you. Mission accomplished. Look at all that. Now, the next important tool we'll need is a decal and mold. These things right here. It's a tool that's like thousands of years old, and it's used to make the proper paper shape. Yesterday, I went on a little side quest and made them, so here's how I did it. I started by going to the thrift store and getting 2 identical sized frames. Then I took out the glass and backing. All you need is the wooden frame part. One of the frames will be the decal, and you don't really need to do anything else to it. That's it, done, easy peasy. The other frame will become the mold. So you need some sort of mesh like bug netting or an old window screen, basically whatever you have. The finer the mesh, the smoother the paper. I cut it so it would fit the frame and have enough to wrap around the edges. Then I stapled it along all the sides, making sure it was pulled nice and tight. The last step was to cut off all the extra mesh, and it was done. Side quest complete. Now that we got our decal and mold, it's time to get going. The paper making process. Need scissors, and let's get into it. The process begins by cutting up all the recycled paper into smaller pieces. If you have a shredder machine, you can use that and be done in like 10 seconds. But if not, using scissors like this, or even your hands, works great too. There we go. Look at that. All shredded up. And now, we fill it up with water. Soaking it with water helps break down the paper and makes it softer and easier to blend up. Enjoy your little bath. You were garbage, but now you're getting the spa bath treatment. Oh my goodness, it's so sticky. Why did I have to touch it? Our paper scraps should be nice and soft now. Obviously, I didn't learn my lesson from yesterday. You know I gotta touch it again. Oh, nice. That's what we're after. It rips apart really easy now. So it's time to turn it into some pulp. The first step of making the pulp is to add a few handfuls of the wet paper to a blender with some water and blend it up. What a delicious looking smoothie we made here. Get your daily dose of fiber for like an entire month in one sip. But sorry to disappoint, instead of drinking it, you want to strain out the water. Yeah, this is the good stuff right here. We've made pulp. It looks kind of nasty, but I promise you, it'll turn into beautiful paper. I think. I kept at it, making nutritious, forbidden smoothies until I had turned all of the garbage into pulp. It is finally time to form the sheets of paper. So I got my container filled back up with some fresh water, and the first thing you do, take a big ol' handful of your delicious pulp and then just drop it in. I'm no expert. This is my first time ever making paper, but in my research, I learned that this is a pretty important step. The more you stir, the smoother the paper will be. You don't want any big chunks like this. Just keep on stirring until it looks all mixed up and you don't see any pieces. Whew. Here's a tip. Don't use freezing cold hose water. Now you take our friends, the mold and decal, and you put the decal on top like that and sandwich them nice and tightly together. Then you dip it into the water, swish it around a bit, and lift it straight up and out. You can tilt it around slightly to spread out the pulp nice and evenly. Lift off the decal and you can see that paper form. Next, you transfer the paper to a cloth or a towel. I'm using an old pillowcase that I cut up. Carefully flip the mold over and press down firmly on all sides. Then use a sponge and press through the mesh to soak up all the extra water. The more the merrier here, because it'll help speed up the drying time. And now for the suspenseful part. We're gonna lift up the mold and see what it looks like. Oh! Yes! Look at that! Dang! Oh, I'm so excited that it worked. I successfully turned garbage into a piece of paper. Oh, I'm pumped up right now. Okay, I gotta make a few more. I strung up a little clothesline so that I could hang up the sheets to dry. And then I kept on going, transforming my trash into paper. It was a really satisfying process, and by the end I had made 8 pieces of paper. Good morning. It is time for the big reveal, my favorite part of any creative project. So the paper's dried out, I flattened it overnight, and now, it is time to peel them away from the fabric. Okay, forget what I said earlier. This was even more satisfying and fun than making the actual paper. Honestly, I wish I had 100 more of these to do, because that was so great. But that's my last one, unfortunately. But here it is, my stack of handmade paper. Oh, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I love how each one's different and you can see all the little specks and blemishes. And here's 3 different ways that you can use your handmade paper. Number 2, you can print photos onto it. It gives it this really cool textured look. And you can also turn it into a little pocket-sized journal. If you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you coming along on this fun journey with me. And now I'm never gonna run out of paper, ever again.